Hi guys, it's XJ9 here, and today we're going to be doing a patch 11.9 patch notes. I didn't look at this at all, so it makes it more exciting. As usual, we usually do it a few hours after, and by a few hours, it's 19 hours late after. But you know what? That's good. That's fine. So yeah, we're just gonna go and get right into it. First change, Deanna or Diana, Diana. Armor growth lowered from 3.6 to 3.1. Health regen lowered from 7.5 to 6.5. Um, and what else? Bonus attack speed is from 20 to 40% based on level. It has been changed to 15 to 40%. Probably because it was a bit too strong on top of her increased jungle camp damage, and she was probably just too healthy. Or I honestly, the thing is Dana's I think is pretty healthy in general in the jungle. Her only issue is mana, so like this just to compensate for how fast she's clearing and her mana and stuff. They're just lowering her durability in fights pretty much. Dr. Mundo, he's going to be reworked very soon, so just kind of last minute changes. Armor growth from 3.5 to 3, 80 goes from 3.5 to 3. I guess he just became, because they nerfed him a lot, but like he was still playable. And I think the passive changes made him too durable, so they're trying to make him less of a durable stat check threat. So I guess that's fine. He's getting reworked soon, so they're pretty much just trying to not make him just a problem before the rework. This doesn't really matter. It's kind of whatever. Garum, his W courage bonus resistances it used to be 0.25 armor and magic resist per stack. Now it's zero point 0.2 per stack, and the cap has been increased from 120 kills to 150. So pretty much he just it's I believe it's the same amount. It's just he needs more kills essentially, so he doesn't scale as fast. So that's good. Gragas, base damage from 80 to 280, and it's been changed from 8 to 80 to 260. Uh, I honestly don't really know what even max on Gragas. This is probably at least maybe in a second max. I don't really know. This is a very small nerf to him overall. You might even max it first, honestly. I don't even know. But if he does max it first, it's quite a nice nerf. But if not, it's kind of whatever, honestly. Hecarim, I'm aware yeah, he got blasted. Base stats, armor, it was 36, now it's 32. Armor growth is 4 to 4.25. I'm gonna be honest, the armor change isn't honestly the biggest deal. He's always gonna be full HP in the jungle regardless. I believe even with these changes. This is mostly just a like an early game duel nerf, ever so slightly. Um, hmm. Yeah, but yeah, again, he uses like one armor mid game. That's not really a big deal. So that honestly, the base stats nerf is barely really a nerf, honestly. Uh, Q damage, rampage amplification per stack. It was 5%, now it's 2%, plus 1% per 33 bonus AD. Um, the bonus AD is weird because it's like, does it take into account like his E with how it gives him AD? Probably. I don't know. Kind of have to see how that plays out, honestly. And also make Ghost more important to take on him. Spirit of Dread, his W. They removed Hecarim no longer heals 30% of damage taken by enemies within the area, and now it's Hecarim now heals for 30% plus 1% per 40% bonus AD of the damage he deals to a target. This is half the 15% plus 1% per 80 bonus AD for damage dealt by allies. I'm gonna be honest. This is honestly not even that big of an issue because usually Hecarim goes in and he does stuff and like your allies kind of do things after and like usually people even use the W badly, like poorly anyway, where they don't even get any heal. So, to be honest, like again, like if you're, I feel like again these nerfs are targeting Chem Tank Hecarim and not like Trinity Force like the traditional Hecarim. So hopefully, honestly, we can go back to Trinity Force Hecarim because I feel like this is all these nerfs are targeting, honestly. Because Chem Tank is the only one where it can stay in there and actually heal from the allies and just be annoying. The E Devastating Charge, it was 35, minimum base damage, it used to be 35 to 155, now it's 30 to 110. Maximum base damage, it was 70 to 310. Now it's 60 to 220. I'm gonna be honest, this change is absolutely huge, but it was probably a very overtuned anyway though, and like the base damage was so big that's why going full tank on Hecarim was like working so well. So I guess it's kind of a needed nerf, honestly. Um, he was just probably overtuned in general. So this is a really big nerf. Like everything else, honestly, is kind of like whatever. In all honesty, like all this stuff is kind of whatever. If you're doing Trinity Force Hecarim, kind of a bigger deal if you're doing Chen Tank Hecarim. And this is the big thing that actually affects both. Mostly the Chem Tank though. Uh, it's also interesting though because it might also, depending on exact variables like such as like what's the cooldown is W and Z. It might also open up diversity where maybe you don't want to max his E second anymore. Maybe you'll get like 2 or 3 points and then max W or something like that. So that's again an interesting thing to see. I don't think the nerfs are actually that bad. It nerfs the hell out of Chem Tank for sure. I just feel like um, the Trinity Force build isn't really affected that much, honestly. Because again, the E change only really affects him mid game, like like especially like I would say level like maybe like 12, honestly, because uh hmm, or maybe like level 10 or 12. It depends. It's not honestly the biggest nerf because at that yeah, pretty much. So I don't know. I just pretty much just go Trinity Force, guys. I hope Chen Tank got nerfed, guys. I know he got nerfed, but we're gonna see how much it got nerfed. W on Heimerdinger's rockets. Initial rocket damage, it was 50 to 170. Now it's been changed to 50 to 150. Maximum rocket damage was 90 to 306. Now it's 90 to 270. Um, I don't really know much about this, so I mean, less damage is always good, guys. So apparently Heimerdinger was just too strong in some Milo, so that was great. Uh, Jinx's Q, it used to deal 200% crit to, was it 200%? Now it's 175%. Damage to the primary target was unchanged and has been correctly 175%. Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, that's a really funny bug. So pretty much now her Q will always crit for 175% on the main target and secondary targets with the rocket. So that's kind of a funny bug, honestly. So whatever, honestly. Kane, uh, Q Reaping Slash Darken Damage Modifier. It used to be 55% of bonus AD or total AD. Now it's 65% of total AD. So that's nice. Yeah, it's just underused compared to blue. No one really goes Rost anymore. So that's a nice change, honestly, to encourage it. Kindred getting another buff, kind of funny. Q Dance of Arrows, it was 9 seconds, now it's 8 seconds. Base damage was 60 to 140, now it's 60 to 160. Really big buff, honestly, overall. It also makes her easier to play because if you play Kindred incorrectly and don't, use your Q correctly in terms of like staying in your W and using it last second, it's not as punishing. So that's a nice change. Uh, she's been good for last patch even before. There's no one plays her, but probably people are gonna probably play her now and say she's broken all of a sudden and she's meta. And so that's just the typical lead stuff. Kog'Maw Q resistance reduction. It was 20 to 28%. Now it's 25 to 33%. And Void Ooze, his E was 80 to 120 mana. Now it's 60 to 100. That's a really nice buff. That mana cost is huge. Not sure if you max that second or third, honestly, but regardless, both those changes are really big. So yeah, I honestly probably buffs AP and AD, so quite nice. Lulu, uh, well, she's getting buffed. So her W cooldown was 16 to 12 seconds, and now it's 15 to 11, so it got lowered. Ally bonus attack speed was 20 to 35%. That's been changed to 25 to 35%. So this is better, honestly, overall at all stages of the game. So I mean, I guess Lulu got out of favor. Maybe they didn't sell enough prestige skins or something. I don't know. Morgana, damage against monsters, it was 200%. Now it's 185% because she was clearing too fast. RIP, I guess. I don't know. Not sure how. I mean, I guess she was clearing too fast. 'Cause the thing with Morgana is that she deals more damage the lower the monster is, I believe, or maybe it just shreds magic resist. I forget. But regardless, amping up the damage has a big. I forgot the word, but pretty much a big effect. Like as in, it's more than you would think. Rumble. Bonus on heat damage on his passive was 10 to 50 plus 3% AP. Now it's 5 to 40 plus 25% AP. Yeah, I'll be honest, that felt kind of like an overbuff, honestly. So I'm kind of glad they nerfed that back down. Set got changed. Damage ratio on his Haymaker's W was 10% per 100% bonus 80. Now it's 20% per 100% bonus 80. So literally, you got double. The buff, he literally buffed it double to encourage 80 set. So that's quite nice. So if you're going like, one thing I've been enjoying playing is 80 set jungle. And so now if you go to Gore Drinker first item, you actually get more benefit, which is quite nice. And his aura, the Showstopper, 80 damage ratio was 100% bonus 80. That was 120% bonus 80. This again, a very nice buff in general. It's just a literally 25% buff to his damage. Um, Nothing really to say there. I mean, no one really even plays that anymore, honestly. Shen, minimum shield was 175 to 525, plus 135% AP. That's 148 to 500, plus 17.5 bonus 80, plus 135% AP. So, ooh, sorry. So the maximum shield is now 280 to 840. Or no, it was 280 to 840, plus 216 AP. And now it's been changed to 224, 224 to 800 shield, plus 20% bonus HE. Plus the same AP ratio, the 216 AP ratio. Although no one builds AP Shen, so it's kind of funny that's even a thing, honestly. Um, Pretty much it's just a buff overall because no one builds AP Shen, and people always build some tank items on him for HP. So it's just to make him, if he builds more tank items, to feel more impactful with it. So I guess that's fine. Tarek Q Starlight's Touch cost was 70 to 110. Now it's 70 to 90. That's an ability he can actually spam a lot and also do a lot of damage with. So I guess that's a nice buff. It's only good if also this also affects his only is later on in the game because level 1's still the same mana cost. So that's just the buff is middle mid game, I guess. Uh, Trundle, Pillar of Ice, 20 to 60% movement speed slow. Now it's 32 to 60%. That's quite a buff to his level 1. So I guess that's nice. Trundle is also kind of just a very situational per pick overall. So I guess just buffing that is nice. I guess I mean again it's just kind of like I don't know. I just don't have much of an opinion. It's hard to make out what was the goal of this. So I guess it's fine. I don't really know honestly. Uh, Vladimir. His Q cooldown was 9 to 4 seconds. Now it's 9 to 4.6 seconds. Yeah, they buffed this before, and yeah, that just seemed really low. So they just nerfed that back up a little bit. So that's nice. Vladimir is also very strong. Just no one really picks him for some reason because people feed with him too much early for some reason. Uh, Xerath Q damage 80 to 240 plus 75% AP. That has been changed to 70 plus 230 plus 85% AP. And his Eye of Destruction base damage was 60 to 180. Now it's 60 to 200. Enhanced base damage was 100 to 300 enemies in the center of the blast. Now it's 100 to 333 enemies in the center of the blast. Um, I guess it's just honestly it's a slight nerf to his early with his Q, but I think it just makes him scale better honestly and just deal a little bit more damage. Or yeah, just pretty much just scaling changes. Didn't really matter early, so yeah, I guess that's fine. Also, he has a skin coming out, so you have to buff him in some way, you know. Um, Dead Man's Plate literally had minus 100 HP. It used to be 400, now it's 300. Um, Again, this is mostly a nerf to the whole meta of movement speed right now with like Skarner, Hecarim, and Udyr. So it's kind of a needed nerf. It's just so strong those champions. Death Stance, uh, at 50-80, now it's 55, and at 40 armor, now it's 45. That's nice. Death Stance has always been kind of a strong item too. Just don't really build it, so hopefully more people build this. Honestly, this is a very strong item overall. So it's kind of interesting they buffed it. I guess it's maybe to encourage people to build something different. Moon Survivor, Starlight Grace Heal, it was 60, now it's 70. Same thing with the Ornn upgrade. I guess they over nerfed it a little bit. It wasn't doing that much, so I guess that's fine. Prowler's Claw targets enemy exactly at the cursor. That's been changed. Now it looks for a target in the following order: nearest champion within 50 units of the cursor. Uh, Nearest non-champion within 50 minutes of the cursor. Near champion within 200 units of the cursor. That's very interesting. We're adjusting the way Protocol's active targeting works to make it more user-friendly and forgiving. It's been more challenging to use in some kits than intended. We're not increasing the item's actual range, but now if you misclick slightly, we're trying to cast in the middle of your combo, it will hit the target you probably meant to click on instead of doing nothing. Um, I guess that's nice. That's one of those things I would need to see in game. I understand the change, but I wish they gave some examples on champion kits where it was weird to use. So I guess that's fine. Sunfire Ages, I believe this is a huge buff. Immolate bonus damage to monsters. It was 100%, now it's 150%. Same thing with the Ornn upgrade. This item is very powerful right now, and definitely just really strong. Like on Sejuani and Zac. Like Zac might be really good now and stuff. The issue is that like on Sejuani and Zac, they would actually really want to build a Sunfire Ages. However, the issue is that it didn't clear fast enough because it wasn't 150% burn damage like Chem Tank and the Frostfire Gauntlet or whatever you call it. So really nice that they even buffed that. So I would definitely recommend building this if you're playing one of those champions like Sejuani or whatever. So yeah, just do that. This is a ridiculous buff overall. I feel like again they could have also nerfed Chem Tank by just making 100% and make this like 130, 125, and then maybe the Frostfire 150. I don't know. But whatever, now they're all universal. Chem Tank, bonus movement speed, it was 60%, now it's 40%. Same thing with Ornn upgrade. Yeah, this was honestly a really deserved nerf, so it's glad that they nerfed it. It was either nerfed the movement speed or the cooldown, so nice that they actually did something with that. Nothing else to say. Wits End, build path, it was changed from a Heartbound Axe, Negatron Cloak, Dagger plus 800 gold to a Heartbound Axe, Negatron Cloak, a Longsword at 750 gold, and the attack damage was raised by 10. So pretty much, I believe I believe it's the same. Honestly, the same amount of gold. Yeah, it is the same amount of gold overall, but it gives 10 more AD and it keeps the attack speed. So that's quite nice. That's quite a big buff to it overall as well. So maybe this could actually be a good item on some champions as well, just because the build path's better and it got buffed in terms of gold efficiency and stats. Anything useful with in-game shop updates? Um, blah 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 blah. Go get your Summer Drift ranks split stuff with Gwen smiling. Clash. I don't care about Clash. Fix bugs where Viego would not properly copy Kindred and Shyvana's stacking passives. I don't really know what that means, honestly. So, I mean, when you think of Shyvana stacking passives, think of the dragons, but I don't know. Whatever. Fix the bug where on possession Kled, Viego will sometimes become mounted Kled with unmounted Kled's abilities. Fix the bug where possessing Kindred, Viego would occasionally keep the wolf of the VFX for the rest of the game. Something like that. Let's just skim through this fast. Fix the bug where Jace's W hypercharge but not update his attack speed correctly. That can potentially be a big thing. Surfing Breeze, no block can be purchased if you don't. Rift Maker and Trinity Force now grant Kaisa the appropriate amount of stats for Evolution. That's kind of a nice buff, I guess, but I'm not sure if anyone builds Trinity Force. Fix the issue where Rammus's Q Powerball would grant more move speed than intended when Predator is equipped. That's very funny. Australia's Battle Song and Australia's Requiem Inspire passive no longer count allied champions twice for its allies motivated counter in its tooltip. I don't know. I guess I think maybe moving twice as fast. I'm not quite sure, but whatever. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I'll be honest. Again, pretty much a good patch. Honestly, all the changes were all good. Lowering damage, small buffs, I guess, for whatever reason. Don't seem that big of a deal though. So yeah, looks good. League's looking good, guys. We're gonna end it and keep it short. Bye, and tell me what you think in the comments below. Bye.